All right, we're back. Um, let's see. Another question from Matthew. He asks, "What or do you like what Tom does to his guitars, like burning them and adding all the decals? And do you like what he recently did with the paint running down the guitar?" I mean, it's all right. With like the painted ones with like the blue. I think he did like a blue with like an orange and then a white and a black one. I like him better than the ones he did like when he was doing Warp Tour or whatever with Angels and Airwaves, where it just looked like it was just the shit was beat out of it and it just looked crappy. I mean, I I definitely prefer guitars to look more sleek and like more just clean, I guess. Like I would never put like stickers or anything all over my guitars. That's just me personally. I mean, customizing guitars is always cool, but um, I don't know. I always liked just the ones with just like the regular stripe on it. I really did like his the couple he used a lot for Angels and Airways, where he had like the black one with the black stripe because it was like a matte black with a gloss black, and then he had like the white and black. The natural with the black stripe was really cool too. I did like that one a lot. So that's what I would say. All right. Ben asks Fender or Gibson. I don't know. I mean, if you're asking like my personal preference, I know I've answered this one before. I would definitely say if I could have like the feel of a Fender guitar, like a Strat, with the sound of a Gibson, and that's kind of what like my DeLongs and my Telecaster are, because they both got like some pretty hot sounding pickups in them. So, but if I had to pick one company over the other, I'd probably go with Gibson. I just I think everything is just higher quality. So I don't know. I still always want to get more Gibsons and Fenders. I mean, I don't really care about one more than the other. So, um, Aaron asks, did I study guitar theory at all, and what would I recommend to help someone figure out how to play songs themselves instead of relying on tabs? Um, I never really studied theory or anything like that. Really, all I've done over the past few years is just try and learn songs, especially just by listening to them. Um, a lot of like the earlier days, I definitely did rely on tabs a lot. I got like plenty of tab books still from my earlier years of playing, but um, I don't know. I just feel like it's it's more beneficial to try and just listen to a song and learn it, because whenever like a new song comes out, I don't have to sit and wait for people to post videos on how to play it, or I don't have to wait for tabs or anything like that. I can just listen to it and try my best to try and figure it out. And the more you get used to doing that, like I could just listen to a song that I've never heard before, and a lot of times it could be like, oh, that's an A power chord, or that's he's playing a D or something like that. So I mean, the more you do it, the more the easier it gets for sure. So I definitely recommend doing it, or at least trying as much as you can. I mean, it's not something I learned overnight for sure. I think the first time I started doing it was when Blink's self-titled album came out, and um, I didn't have a tab book or anything, and I just wanted to try and figure it out. And I mean, it's not overly difficult, so that's pretty much what I did, and it's definitely helped me a lot. All right. Dylan asks, how long would you like to continue doing YouTube videos? That's a pretty good question. I don't know. I mean, it still gives me like something to come home and do when I'm bored off my mind. Um, I mean, I don't know. I mean, eventually I'm just gonna run out of songs that I feel like doing, at least for like a little while. I mean, bands that I like are always coming out with new music, so I mean, I always feel like I always feel like learning something new every now and then, or there'll be certain songs that I just felt like learning that never really got around to. So I mean, I guess it depends. Maybe I'll find some sort of new inspiration in a few years or something. I have no idea. I mean, I don't know. That's a hard question, to be honest. Let's see. Landon asks, do you ever listen to classic punk bands like the Misfits and Ramones? I know I've answered that one before too. I just never really got into those types of bands. I mean, a lot of them are just, they're really raw, and they're just, I don't know, like, I've always been into like more polished music, like stuff that you can tell they've really did their best to make everything sound perfect. And I've even talked to my friends about this, where like I've tried to get my friends into certain bands, and they're like, "Oh, it just sounds too perfect. You know, it doesn't have any like feel or anything to it." So, I mean, I don't know. That's just my preference. Where's my little tool? And I don't know, just like those old punk bands, they just don't do it for me. I mean, I realize in a lot of ways they are kind of similar to bands like Blink and Newfound Glory and stuff like that, but at the same time, I like something that just sounds like it's better produced, and just I don't know. I'm kind of a music snob, you know. I've realized that one, so I don't know. Just the bands like that. I mean, like the really old punk bands like Sex Pistols and Clash and whatnot. I don't know. They never really did anything for me, and I mean, I don't hate them. I don't knock people who enjoy it. I mean, I just never really found any real reason for me to get into them. I just never really liked it that much. Let's see. Who do you think would win in a fight? A grilled cheese sandwich or a taco? Probably a grilled cheese, because a taco would fall apart really easily and it's really fragile. So I feel like the grilled cheese would just smother it, and the taco would just kind of break apart. Unless it was like a hybrid taco where it had like a soft, like burrito type thing on the outside, and then like the crunchy shell in the middle. I don't remember what they call that at Taco Bell. Maybe like a gordita or some shit, or a chalupa. I don't remember, but that might have a chance of beating out a grilled cheese. But I don't know. I still gotta go with the grilled cheese. Let's see. I don't know if this is Jesus or Jesus. I don't know. What advice would I give my 10-year-old self? I would tell my 10-year-old self to start playing guitar, because I started when I was 13, and I still wish that I had started younger than that. Um, I don't know. I feel like I'd like. I don't even know. I mean, I feel like I'd probably be a little further along than I am now. Maybe even a lot more further along, because I was still playing like a lot of baseball when I was 10. I was playing a lot of video games. I mean, I've always played a lot of video games, but I definitely played a lot more when I was that young. Um, so, I mean, I definitely want to start guitar earlier if I could have, but obviously can't really do much about that now. He also asks, blondes or brunettes? Lately, brunettes, to be honest. I don't know. Brunettes, I never really thought of them as anything special, because I mean, I've seen brown hair my whole life, and like my whole family's got brown hair, and um, I don't know. There's just so many brunettes like in the world, and like I always thought that it was just kind of boring. So for a long time, I was into blondes, but I don't know. Over the past few years, I for the past few years I went to redheads a lot, and then even more like recently, I just really got into brunettes. So I'm gonna have to go with brunettes, but redheads are pretty awesome too. And when I say redheads, I mean I could care less if it's a fake red or real red. I mean, it doesn't matter. Henry asks, My thoughts on the band Strung Out. They're probably one of my favorite punk bands since they fused two of my favorite genres. Yada yada. And I'll get to a second question in a second. I do like Strung Out a lot. I've heard the name like all the time, but I never listened to them until I went to this concert with a couple friends of mine, and one of them mentioned Strung Out, and I had never even listened to him. He was blown away because he's like, dude, they're like perfect for you because they're like kind of metal but like kind of punk at the same time. And so I checked him out, and like I don't really like the really old stuff that much, but like the Agents of the Underground is pretty awesome. Um, there's another album I thought was pretty cool, but I don't know, like some of the new stuff is pretty sweet. I don't love the singer. That's the only problem. I definitely like it if there was a better singer, but I mean he's not terrible. He also asked, don't know if somebody asked already, but what other hobbies do I have than music? Um, I do like playing video games a lot. I actually been playing my 3DS a bit the past couple days because they finally released Legend of Zelda: Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons on the store there. So I downloaded those. I haven't played them in years, and so I've been catching up on that. I've been watching a lot of Netflix lately. I've been watching the new Arrested Development. I think I'm almost done with that. I just finished episode 12. Um, let's see what else. I mean, I hang out with my friends a lot. I really do love food. I'm not ashamed to admit that. Um, so I do eat a lot of good things. I mean, obviously I'm not the skinniest person in the world, but I mean, food's just awesome. Who wouldn't want to eat food? All right, next question. What are the most effective ways of playing in time? And have I found Michael Scarn? um, I mean, you could always play along with a metronome or something to try and stay in time. You can always like try and tap your foot along with what you're playing. I mean, something like that. But I don't know. If I was like trying to learn a song or something like that, I mean, I think it's kind of easy to just listen to the song and just play along with it. But if you're trying to like do something without music in the background, you're trying to stay in tune or in time. I don't know. It's a little harder. I mean, I'd probably say a metronome would be the way to go. Um, but I mean, everybody's kind of different, I guess. But that's probably like the most universal way of staying in time. And Michael Scarn, um, whatever happened to Michael Scarn? You know, he's a great man. Threat level midnight. Let's see. Would I rather spend a day with Mark, Tom, or Travis? This is from Gabe. Probably Mark. He's always been my favorite member of Blink. I just think he's really cool. He's got such a weird personality. Like if you follow him on Twitter, you realize he's just so bizarre. But I don't know. He's pretty hilarious, and I wouldn't mind hanging out like in all the cool places he's always going to. Like he's always in some random place. So that would be kind of cool too. Emilian asks, what's my dream guitar, and do I think Gibson or Fender is better? Do I like playing guitar more than bass? My dream guitar, I know I've answered this like 12 times, is a Gibson Les Paul Custom. I'd still want one. I mean, I love this Les Paul, but I don't know, it wouldn't hurt to have the best of the best. Do I think Gibson or Fender is better? I mean, I kind of already answered that already. And I definitely like playing guitar more than bass. I mean, I love my Mark Hoppus bass, but I mean, I just like playing these better. I mean, they're just more fun for me anyway. All right. Grumpy Mark asks, do I listen to Senses Fail, and what's my favorite song? I mean, I used to listen to them. They're kind of a band that I grew out of. Um, um, I mean, they had a couple really good albums. They had, what was it? Let It Unfold You was really cool. Still Searching was good, and then everything after that just didn't really do much for me. Um, I think they had an album called like The Fire or something, which wasn't bad. I mean, but I feel like everything could just be better, and I feel like it's was never as good as the two albums that I mentioned. But if I had to pick like a favorite song, I used to really like Shark Attack. That was a cool one, just because the guitars sounded awesome. Um, what else? What the hell's the one I'm thinking of? Um, the one that's like rum is for drinking, not for burning, or whatever the hell that one's called. That one was pretty cool. Um, NJ Sinks into the Atlantic was a cool song. Pretty much anything from like those two albums I liked a lot, except for maybe like Calling All Cars. That song was just not that good. Let's see. Marky or Marcy, I can't really tell. Do you like Waves? And what do you think about Nate Williams? Never heard of either of those. So, sorry, I can't really answer that. But as I've said with everybody else, I mean, you can always leave me a link or something like a video or whatever. I don't even know if that's a band or not. I assume it is. Um, so, I mean, I'll check it out if you want to leave me a link or something. It's fine with me. I still got a lot of questions left. Shane asks, have I ever listened to or heard of Biffy Clyro? I heard the name 1,000 times over the years, especially when I was part of this Blink message board. Everybody talked about Biffy Clyro, or at least like a select few always had them, like in their signatures or something. And I never listened to them. And I actually went and saw Muse back in April, and they opened for them, and they weren't bad. I mean, I just thought it was a little weird that everybody was playing shirtless. But I don't like the singer very much. I just didn't think it was that great, but they had a lot of really cool like instrumental sections in it that I liked a lot. Um, and they did sound really good live. I mean, I can't deny that. So, I mean, it wasn't a bad show at all. And like I said, the instrumental stuff was definitely what I liked the most. Um, let's see. Jason asks, what's my opinion on Marshall amps?" Um, I don't know. I mean, they never really did much for me. I mean, I kind of grew up always listening to stuff like bands that were using like Mesa Boogies and stuff. So I just kind of got biased towards those, and I just always wanted to have something like that, like a Mesa. Um, but I mean, I had a Marshall amp um, when I was younger. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was like a 30 watt, and it had like some built-in effects. Um, I don't remember like the model name or anything, but I just didn't like it. But at the same time, I was using this guitar that my mom bought me that I didn't like at all. I mean, it was a great guitar. It just wasn't for me. It was like an actual like Fender American Standard Strat. It was like a deluxe one with coil tapping and everything like that. Like it was a cool guitar, but um, I don't know. It just wasn't for me. So those two things mixed. I mean, it just wasn't what I wanted. So I don't know. I guess that's the answer to that one. But I never really tried like any other heads or anything. I mean, I've always heard good things about like the JCM like 800s and some of the 900s, but I don't really know much about them. I know a couple people I follow on YouTube, like Riff Guy, is like a Marshall fiend. He has tons of Marshalls, so I mean he gets a great tone. But I mean with my Mesa and my Orange combo, I mean I'm pretty set for now anyway. Um, Anissa asks, will I ever do a Red Hot Chili Peppers cover, August Burns Red, or Parkway Drive cover? Um, I don't know. I mean, they're just bands I don't listen to. Um, I mean, I've told multiple people this. It's just difficult for me to want to learn a song from a band that I don't like. I mean, I don't have too much free time these days anyway. So when I actually finally do play some guitar, um, I usually just want to learn something that I've been wanting to learn for a while, or um, something that I just like in general. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's just harder to want to learn something that I don't really like. Um, do you know her? Do you know how to play drums or want to learn? I don't know how to play drums. I mean, I wouldn't mind learning, but I think I'd rather learn on like um, an electric drum set or something. I think that would be pretty cool. Um, but I don't know. I like drums. I just don't like how there's no volume adjustment on it unless you're using like pads or something, and then like you just kind of get a different sound on it, and I don't know. It's just not as cool. She also asks, would I ever get a guitar with EMG pickups? I've actually had multiple guitars with EMGs. Um, my 7-string has EMGs in it, which I don't like at all. Um, but I've had I've had a couple Jackson guitars that had EMGs in it. I had um, fuck is it called? Oh, my Explorer. When I had an Explorer, those came with the same pickups that are actually in this guitar. Um, but I ended up switching them out for EMG 81 and 85, and it did have a pretty awesome sound. But I mean, overall, I just don't like EMGs that much. I definitely like Seymour Duncan's stuff like that a lot more. So um, I don't know. I think EMGs are a little overrated. Um, okay, that's just a stupid question. Not the last one, the one I'm reading right now, so I'm just not even going to answer that one. Evan asks, how do I warm up before playing? Also, how do I write solos? I don't necessarily warm up like every time I start playing. If I haven't played in a couple days, then like I definitely need to just try and play something that that I already know, or something like that, just to try and warm up my hands a little bit. But in general, I mean, I don't really do like scales or stuff like that to try and like warm up or anything. So, and how do I write solos? I mean, it's all about just like improvising, really. I mean, I don't have like a set way. I mean, I don't have tons of little techniques and stuff like Paul Gilbert or something like that. But I don't know. I just feel like it's got to come to you naturally, and I don't know. Some days I can write something. Some days like I just can't think of a fucking thing. So I don't know. I realize that doesn't really help. Um, Almost done. Let's see. Yeah, last question. Alex asks, do I live with my parents? I don't live with my mom, but I do live with my dad. Um, my mom actually lives in Connecticut, and I'm in Massachusetts. So I don't know. She's asked me to, or when I was younger anyway, she always asked me to like move in with her, but I'd rather not get rid of everything that I've had. All my friends and whatnot are all in Massachusetts, so what's the point? So that's all the questions. It was actually a good amount of questions. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this, watching me restring a guitar. It is a giant pain in the ass, and hopefully I didn't fuck it up since I haven't really been paying attention to it. But thanks for watching, and if you want me to answer any questions next month, I'll definitely be doing another Q&A video, and all you got to do is just follow me on Facebook. The link is always in the description, and answer me a question. I usually make a post like at the end of whatever month right before the next month starts. So I just posted one like May like 28th or 29th on my Facebook. So all you really got to do is just answer my question there, and it's very likely that I'll answer it. I mean, there was one question out of the whole thing that I just thought was kind of stupid, that I didn't feel like answering. Sorry to that person, but it really kind of was a stupid question. So that's it. I'm just gonna keep restringing this guitar, and that's my morning. So see you later.